sticks and Selena files. I'm here to bring us the full moon reading for the full moon happening Tuesday, August 1st. It is a full moon in Aquarius happening at 1:33 p.m. United States Central Standard Time. You'll have to bear with me a little bit for this reading because I don't have my normal working location. So I'm going to have to improvise a little because I don't have this space that I usually have for my cards. So at any rate, I am reading with the Morgan Greer deck as usual. Let me go ahead and pull a few cards for us to provide us with the guidance that is going to assist us with best traversing the energies of this full moon in Aquarius. What is the guidance available for us? And I've got a few cards coming out already. So the first one is the Page of Rods. And okay, I have the Six of Cups, Page of Rods, Six of Cups, King of Pentacles. So I'm just going to start here with the Page of Rods, the Six of Cups, and the King of Pentacles, and then I'm going to move forward. So right away, I'm picking up on a lot of earth-centered energy. I'm picking up on a lot of blooming. Okay, so abundance, prosperity, great times for abundance and prosperity, but I encourage you, there is absolutely nothing wrong with thinking about our material needs and the things that we need to support ourselves and sustain ourselves in this physical world that we live in, and even within the economic realities that we live in. There's nothing wrong with those resources and our need for those resources, and thinking about those resources and thinking about acquiring those resources and building those resources and growing those resources. But I would also like to emphasize that material resources or money are not the only resources that we have. We have the resource of time, we have the resource of energy, we have the resource of food, we have the resource of all the things that nourish us and sustain us, including our relationships with other people and our relationships with earth, our relationships with life, and our relationships with all living creatures. So I'm seeing a lot of that coming through here. I'm seeing a lot of emphasis on our relationship with the outside world, very much literally in alignment with the outdoors, nature, outdoor life, the earth. This is a great time to be grounding ourselves in that kind of energy. And it's a great time to receive abundance and to receive more resources through that kind of grounding and that kind of connection. So think about what kinds of things do you do? What kinds of energies can you align with? What kinds of activities can you align with that offer you more in return? In other words, are you more creative when you spend more time in nature? Are you more abundant when you provide yourself or allow yourself more leisure time, or more time for pleasure, or more time for play, or more time for outdoor activities, or sports, or hiking, or whatever the case may be? I'm also, so I'm seeing that. I'm seeing a need for us to tap into that current of reciprocity, to tap into those kinds of things that really allow us deep connection and give us more energetic resources in return. Those things that allow us to tap into the flow of life, the flow within ourselves, the flow that we feel when we're engaging in activities that truly bring us pleasure and joy, and to tap into life in general, our connection to life. What kind of life affirming activities, what kind of physical life affirming activities can we tap into now? Keeping in mind that this kind of self care, this kind of engagement, this kind of connection to joy and life um, is productive because it brings us blessings that allow us to give more in return. It is a cycle of reciprocity. So we need this in order to care for others. We need this in order to do a good job at work. We need this in order to be creative, in order to be productive, in order to be inspired. What do you need? What kind of life affirming activities do you need now in order to replenish your inner resources so that you have what you need to give back to the world? And if it's outdoors, then great. It's a good time for anything outdoors. It's going to help your finances. It's going to help your prosperity. It's going to help your abundance. Those things are different than each other, but they are interconnected. It's going to help your money, your material resources. These things are different from each other, but they are interconnected. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a good time to follow your heart, follow your inspiration, follow your spark into new activities that are related to these things as well. And those new activities may very well include other people. They may very well include social settings, social gatherings, circumstances that require you or involve you getting more involved with a group, groups of people, communities, etc. If you have been feeling inspired, or you have been itching to, or you have had the inkling to get involved with some kind of new communities or clubs or groups, whatever the case may be, new learning circles, this is a great time to do it. Don't ignore that voice. This is the time to act on it. This is the time to move forward. In fact, right around this full moon, you may be receiving messages about this. This means literal messages. You may be receiving invitations. You may be receiving information. You may be receiving new info about what is available for you in terms of joining and connecting and belonging and communing. So look for those kinds of messages and pay attention to them, because it may very well be what you need in order to continue your personal growth. So this full moon is very much supportive of personal growth, and especially personal growth that involves community. A great time to tap into your inner child as well. What can you do that is playful? What can you do that is fun? What can you do that is creative? What kinds of activities can you join that are playful, that are fun, that are creative, that really honor the energy of play or sacred play, that creates space for sacred play? This is going to be a good time for you to reach out and communicate with others as well. You may not just be on the receiving end of communication, but you may feel like reaching out and communicating with others in terms of these themes and topics yourself. I'm fumbling around a little bit because my AC just came on, and I'm trying to turn it off so that it's not too disturbing for our video here. So please pardon the interruption. Okay, hopefully it will go off in just a second. So if you feel like you want to reach out to people, you don't have to sit and wait for messages. You can also take the initiative, especially in regard to the themes that we have discussed here today. This kind of communication involving your community and involving your loved ones, involving children in your life, and involving those people and those things that nourish and sustain you. This kind of communication is going to be really supported by this full moon energy. So I'm going to move forward and pull 3 more cards, and then after those 3 cards, we will put all of this information together and bring this reading to a close. Meanwhile, I'm hoping that AC kicks off like I have asked it to so that we don't have too much sound pollution in this video. So I've got the Four of Cups here. Very interesting addition to the things that we've just spoken about. Okay, great. Sound quality, I hope, is improving. And here we go again. One more card. Four of Pentacles. Okay. And some of these cards came up with our most recent new moon reading and the full moon before that. So some of these themes have been coming up for a couple of months and a few lunations in a row. So if you're getting the same messages again, then this is a good time to reevaluate those messages. Turn them on their sides, look at them right side up and upside down, look at things from new perspectives, different directions, and assess if there's a different way that you can approach this guidance that makes more sense to you now. Reevaluate. Last card for the reading is the Nine of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards, especially in this Morgan Greer deck. Look how luxurious, look how beautiful, look how pleasurable, look how physical. She's adorned, and you get the impression from her that she's not just adorned physically. This has to do with a spirit that is coming from inside of her and being expressed on the outside of her. I love the Nine of Pentacles. I hate that she gets demonized. The shadow side of this card is that she is greedy, that she is lazy, that she is the stereotype of the woman who doesn't want to work, who just wants to lie around and like eat chocolate, right? Like eat bonbons, eat chocolate, watch TV, listen to music, be lazy and be spoiled. And I say, you know, that is a product of the patriarchy. That is a product of misogyny. We need to embrace pleasure. And that doesn't mean that we don't still work hard if we need to or if we want to, but we need to embrace pleasure and we need to embrace beauty. We need to embrace the embodied physicality of beauty and pleasure. These things are sacred. Anyway, moving back to the beginning and pairing these cards together, we've got the Four of Cups here, paired with the Four of Pentacles. Interesting, two fours in a row. So once again, we're talking about our stability. We're talking about those structures that really hold things together for us in our lives, in our personal lives, as well as in our outer lives. In fact, we could say that the Four of Cups is very much relating to our personal lives, and the Four of Pentacles is very much relating to our outer lives. So we're not only looking at structures and foundations there, we're looking at a balance between those areas. So this is an excellent time to consider, do I have strong, stable foundations that are going to allow me to have a balance between my inner life and my outer life? What does a strong, stable foundation in that way look like for you? In other words, what do you need to have in place in order to have the stability, the consistency, the security to attain the kind of balance that you're seeking in your life? Does it mean a schedule? Maybe, maybe not. Does it mean getting a little bit more organized? Maybe, maybe not. But what needs of yours need to be met? And what do you have to have in place? What kind of structure do you need in order to have that balance for yourself? Because it's when we don't have a strong enough foundation that we find ourselves kind of running ragged, trying to put together details that we didn't think of in advance. And I'm not saying your life has to be overly scheduled. I'm not saying that it has to be overly constrained or overly planned. or overly systemized. Now, I'm not saying any of that at all, especially because we've got this beautiful Nine of Pentacles here, and she's all about the pleasure aspects of life. But I am saying maybe you do need a little bit more structure. Maybe you do, maybe we all around this full moon will need a little bit more structure so that we can prioritize what's important to us. Because if play and pleasure are the things that are important to us, then we need to have room for it. Sometimes we have to schedule it in. It doesn't always work to be spontaneous. We have to plan to take days off. We have to plan to take time off. We have to plan to have happiness and joy. We do. We have to plan vacations. We have to plan downtime. And a lot of times, if we don't plan those things, then they don't happen. It can even come down to smaller details, like we need to plan creative time. We need to plan structured play. There are many ways to look at this, but if you don't make the space in your life, if you don't have a container to hold space for that which brings you pleasure and joy and beauty and creativity and allows you to receive inspiration, allows you to receive dreams, allows you to receive visions, allows you to receive intuition. If you don't have space in your life for those things, then they might not happen. And you don't want to wait until something has to crumble and you have to be forced to take time off. So see if you can take some extra time off around this full moon. See if you can plan for it, if you can schedule it. And I mean extra. So not your normal weekend or not your normal one day off, extra time. Even if you're just fitting it in after work or in the mornings. How can you enjoy pleasure? How can you receive pleasure? How can you receive inspiration? How can you have a embodiment activity, an activity where you're moving your body in a pleasurable way, in a way that makes you feel beautiful? How can you express yourself? Let's bring out some adornment. I mean, this is Leo season after all, so this may be a nice time for glamour magic, right? How can you play with your physicality, with your appearance, and with your creativity to bring more things into your life that you are seeking? So think about what's missing from your structures in advance. Think about what's missing from your structures, how you can fill in those gaps to create more security for yourself so that you have more room for play and beauty and pleasure. Happy Leo season. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Much love. Many blessings.